Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today it is the second lecture of the food science and technology. In this lecture, we will study the relationship of food science and technology with other disciplines. The first discipline is the physics. The development and improvement in the food science and technology is due to the inventions in the physics, such as the development of the equipments and the basic theories, that is the transfer of heat from the outer areas to the central point. The central point is known as the cold point, where the temperature reaches where the heat reaches the last. The outer layer will receive the maximum heat, while the central or the inner part will receive the minimum heat. So the process should be in such a way that all parts of the food commodities which are processed should receive equal amount of heat, and there should be minimum losses to the constituents of the food. In the physics, we study the irradiation, the microwave heating, the transfer of heat, the permeability of gases, the packaging materials, and the storage. All is possible due to the development in the physics. Second is the chemistry. In chemistry, we study two things: the chemical reactions and the biochemical reactions. The chemical reactions are taking place due to the constituents of the commodities. The reactions will be taking place by the carboxylic compounds, phenolics, and amino acids, amino groups, while the biochemical reactions will be due to the enzymes and microorganisms. To preserve the food, the chemical reactions will need to be controlled, and the biochemical reactions will also need to be controlled. The biochemical reactions can be controlled by the cooling or heating the food commodities, whichever is required over there for the destruction or the inactivation of the microorganisms and of the enzymes. Third one is the plant breeding and genetics. In plant breeding and genetics and biotechnology, the scientists are working to introduce the disease-resistant, short-statured, high-yielding varieties. The disease-resistant varieties will produce maximum product with no losses or minimum losses, and short-statured are suffering from the environmental factors the least. Similarly, in the Green Revolution, when some hybrid varieties were introduced into some areas, they were in dire need of the fertilizers, pesticides, and sufficient amount of water. After that, the scientists worked hard for this to introduce some other varieties which may need low amount of fertilizers, pesticides, water, and other things as compared to the local varieties grown over there. The local varieties which were grown over there produced a less amount of the end product. So they are working and they worked hard for introducing the varieties which may require low amount of these above mentioned things. The entomology, pathology, and plant protection. The role of these sciences is to control the insect, pest, rodents, birds, and other things such as microorganisms, etc. Some problems have occurred in the world, as the potato problem occurred in the Ireland, in the Europe. So they are trying to control the disease causing agents over anywhere in the world to minimize the shortages occurring over there and to provide sufficient amount of food to the people for consumption in far off places, in off season, and in any part of the world. The last but not the least important is the engineering. In the engineering, The civil engineers construct the plant on the advice of the food scientist and technologist in such a way that the human interaction over there may be the least. So the excess of the rodents, birds, pests, and other things which can cause some harmfulness to the food commodities during that processing plant may be controlled by this way. They construct the plant, they construct the storage house, warehouses where they may be kept, and they design the plant in such a way that the interaction of the human beings with the food commodities may be the minimum. In this way, the role of the food scientist with the civil engineers is of prime importance to control such things in all aspects. And this was the second lecture, and in third lecture we will discuss some other things about the food science and technology. If you have any question about this, you may ask please. I will appreciate. Thank you.